All right.
And better than ever.
All right.
Back and better than ever.
Okay.
So to continue the story, Craig was a femme fatale, kill with a kiss. I was Nick Snow. Now we all know Nick Snow, his only true love, is The Legend of Zelda. That's obvious. Everyone knows this. And so Craig, in his infinite wisdom, decided that the only femme fatale that Nick Snow would fall for was Shigeru Miyamoto himself, creator of Zelda.
Cross-dressing as a woman.
It's the only way we could get Nick Snow to fall in love.
Much similar yet opposite to Sheik and Zelda.
Exactly.
That's true.
Parallels. Oh, what a great game that was.
There we go. Okay. Okay, it is live.
Okay.
Cool.
Thumb wrestling.
Alright.
So Jake, let's see how you're gonna beat Nick, the sumo wrestler, at thumb wrestling.
I'll be interested to see who you can create.
Alright. So I have a demon-possessed car
Oh, I can't.
that is 9 feet tall.
Okay. Get ready for your random one. Oh boy.
Wow.
Okay, Jake,
Oh,
would
I
you like to
can't
go
wait.
first?
Yes.
Okay.
I am now 100 stories tall. 100 stories and 9 feet tall.
Well,
Demon-possessed car.
get ready to lose, because I control magnetism.
Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
Now, Jake, you have the choice. Would you like to go first or second here?
I will go first.
Okay.
All right. Let's hear it.
Alright, so, demon-possessed car.
Yes.
Remember, it's 40-20.
Oh, shit. Okay, so...
I'll let you start over. I interrupted you. All right, go.
Alright, demon-possessed car. So, the key here is the demon possession. That is what's going to save me against your magnetism. Because I can fight back against that with my pure demonic power and override it. And I'm 109 feet stories tall. 100 feet nice. That just came out like that. So I'm freaking gigantic and you're just one tiny sumo wrestler. And I'm imagining my car to be like a Transformer style.
Whoa!
Whoa.
I challenge this.
I'm
It's a
also
car, not a
demon-possessed,
transformer.
so I can
You
use
have
my-
your turn. We're going
I
to give Jake
can
an
use-
extra 10 seconds now.
I could use my demon powers
That's
to
40 seconds.
change the car's
10.
form to whatever I want. So that's how
Done.
All
All
right.
right, Nick.
Okay.
Counter arguments.
You're a car. This is a thumb wrestling match. You don't have a thumb. It doesn't say that you're a transformer. There are cards in here that create mechs and things like that. You're a car. You're demon possessed, but you're a car. I feel like without having thumbs, I automatically win. In controlling magnetism, this isn't like a battle of wills. This is simply I can lift you or push you with my mind because I control magnetism.
Wow.
I mean, like,
Nope. No talking. No talking. You're done. So,
questions, boys.
so Jake, my question to you.
can I ask a question?
No. So my question to you, Jake.
Yep.
How are you going to win an arm or a thumb wrestling contest without thumbs?
All right. So here's my rebuttal against that. So the idea that if I'm a car and I show up to an official thumb wrestling match and you turn me away, that is unnecessarily exclusionary.
Oh.
And you're putting aside an entire population, the car population. They want to be a part of this, and they can be if there's enough of us that sign a petition that says cars can thumb wrestle. Maybe we use our mirror. Maybe we just like clamp our mirror shut. You know how they go like up and down?
Hold on, follow up to my question.
Yep.
You can enter. No one's debating whether or not you can enter. How can you actually participate?
So I think it would have to be, we have to designate a specific
What is
part
your thumb?
of the car to be the thumb. officially allowed within the rules what can be the thumb. I mean, it could be the gas tank. You just clamp the gas tank shut on the other person's hand. I don't know. That's not up to me, but if I were to be a part of this, we would have to identify that and decide on it. So I'll leave that up to you judges to figure that out. But if I'm allowed in, that's got to be part of it.
Jim suggests windshield wiper.
Windshield wiper.
That is a good. I like that. Craig, you have a question for either of them?
I gotta say, how are you gonna be able to beat someone thumb wrestling if you're constantly yelling out what you're gonna be doing?
Yeah, that is a good point.
That is a good point.
Well, as we know, I have super endurance, first of all. So as the struggle with thumb wrestling, I won't tire. So I don't have to worry. Like, at this point, it's just a matter of positioning, leverage, which is all about the sumo, that's already been established, similar with the log rolling thing. And so screaming the names of my attacks, it's kind of like, hey, get ready, because you're going to lose to this one.
All right.
Interesting.
So, Nick, I've got another question. So, your power, control magnetism.
Correct.
Now, it's been determined that the way you're going to thumb wrestle is with windshield wipers.
Is
That's not a magnetic
No,
part of a car.
Here's my question: that was a suggestion? Is that what the judges have decided upon?
Craig, are we in agreement that it's windshield wipers now?
Windshield wipers?
Or are we thinking another part of the car would be better for thumb wrestling? I guess that's something we got to
I
decide.
was gonna say no, I'm not deflecting.
I do like Jim's idea,
It is a valid.
but if you've got other ideas that are better, I'm open to hearing them.
I was thinking the antenna of the car.
Well, the antenna's not something that normally moves.
It's a demon possessed car.
The antenna's not normally something that moves, though. It's not built to move. It's built to stand up. Like a giant car erection.
That's what that is.
Correction. All right. Well.
And so you're not gonna thumb wrestle with your erection. That'd be
So it's
way.
established the antenna is the car's boner.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty obvious.
I think windshield wipers is acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we've established windshield wipers,
Yes.
that's not something you can control with your
Correct.
magnetism. So,
I think that's fair.
So that's something that you were lauding as one of your strengths. You were
Yes.
bringing that up as, I can control him because it's magnetic. But the thumb is not. If you were to push him away, that'd be like me thumb wrestling Jake and then deciding,
How do you thumb wrestle?
and then me deciding to go, I win. See, that's cheating. So how would you bring in the magnetic powers, or are they, in this case, useless?
Let me answer your question with a question. Well, I shouldn't say answer your question with a question, but let me clarify your question with a question. Would the use of my magnetic controls be cheating in and of themselves?
No, using magnetism would not be cheating. Using magnetism to push or pull, as you were alluding to in your first response, would be cheating. Because that'd be like me pushing him while thumb wrestling.
As we all know, sumo wrestlers have a very firm sense of honor. And so my character would confirm that before the match begins, that any possible attacks, which he would be screaming as well, would be legal moves. With that caveat being said, so if what I'm about to say is going to be considered an illegal move, I will concede that.
Well, the judges will have to confer on that one as
My
well.
magnetism would allow me to gain superior leverage and control.
How?
The chassis, I can kind of tilt and move the player. It's similar to kind of like in a thumb wrestling match of kind of like trying to gain the upper hand.
I'll allow it.
Right.
You have a question for
Question
Jake?
for Jake.
Hit me.
Demonically possessed.
Yep.
What kind of arcane knowledge could a demon bring to a simple thumb wrestling match?
More than you could ever imagine.
Yeah? Elaborate, please.
So I think the really important part here is that this possession is designed so the demon part of me can leverage the most important parts of the car and the machine and then supplement that with all of my arcane knowledge, as you say. Histories and histories of hellfire and burning and power, just pure power. That's what demons are all about, you know. They're hungry for more. And, you know, right now what we're hungry for is the thumb wrestling belt, the championship belt. That's what we want. And nothing is going to stop us from getting there. So if we have to use every trick in the book, we have to rip every page out of our spell book to get there, we're going to use it. And that's the thing that I think really differentiates these two opponents, is that the sumo wrestler, who, as Nick said, is, you know, sticks to a very strict code of honor. Demons, they have no code of honor. They will do literally anything. And, like, I think that's what is really is going to be the deciding factor here, is, like, how sly have I been in my past as a demon that I can use that guile to win the competition without breaching any official rules because it's so under the belt. So that's my answer to your question.
All right. Closing arguments. Jake, first or second?
I will go second. Everybody.
All right, Nick, 20 seconds.
So my opponent has just admitted to being open to using trickery and cheating, essentially, to win. That would disqualify him if caught. Secondly, he still... My having thumbs...
Done.
Oh man, 20 seconds. Yes.
It is.
Alright.
Ready?
Yep.
Go.
I think my last argument here, I'm 100 stories tall, 9 feet tall. Which means I could just clamp down. It doesn't matter how super endurance you are, but that against a sumo wrestler who is average height, I think the victory is clear.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Alright.
Shall we deliberate?
Please.
I like combining the 100 stories and the 9 feet. I like the 100 stories
That's a lot.
and 9 feet
Yeah.
tall.
I like your interpretation. Mine would have been like size changing, shape shifting almost. But your approach was definitely interesting. I like it.
That's good.
It's the Jake rounding method.
All right. So what do you think, Greg?
Man,
My initial leanings towards a sumo wrestler.
I'm thinking that too. Just the ability, you know, cars are obviously made out of metal. The ability to control
Let's see what's
The,
Jim saying.
control the chassis is
Jim's saying he doesn't think you can win with no thumbs.
It's very easy to predict.
Yeah, I mean
That's
the windshield
true.
wiper
You're
can
only
only do
going
that.
like you're only
Yeah,
going
you can
like
only
this,
do that.
guys.
Yeah, I think we have to get the sumo wrestler.
Yeah.
As much as I love the 100-story and 9-foot tall demon-possessed car, as
Sure.
great as that is,
Combined with the super endurance, I think is really
I don't even think the super endurance comes into it. I just think the car is just not
set up
not well equipped. It's missing the thumbs that are the huge component.
Let's see. All right.
All right.
I think it's a clear winner.
I think we got a winner.
All right. You want to call?
All right,
that in?
boys, come on back in.
You'll see Jim again.
Alright.
I don't know about Craig, but I was a little torn, but we both came to the same conclusion here.
I wonder what it
I loved one of the answers so much more than the other. But ultimately, as much as I loved the demon-possessed car, the sumo wrestler just is so much more well-equipped to do a thumb wrestle.
Disagree.
It's thumbs, guys. A sumo wrestler has
I like-
thumbs.
That was ultimately my final argument as well. It's basically like, I have thumbs.
And you got enough
I
of
don't
that out
stand
to
by
make
this
the point made, even if you couldn't say it all.
I'm writing a petition for cars and thumb wrestling.
Oh.
Oh my god.
So Nick, this round right here is to decide
who?
who wins.
Oh my god, and it's us.
Oh, I already grabbed my extra ones. So, our challenge Deadliest assassin.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I'm feeling good,
I didn't say
boys.
Oh my god.
I can't decide. I mean, yes, obviously.
I don't know.
I think I have to go with this one, just because of
I already
just
know
because
what one
of
of
the.
cards is.
I feel like
It
that would
has
be a
to
perfect
be.
matchup.
Yeah, I feel like just because of who Nick is, that I have to choose this one. It's been decided.
This is a good one.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
I wish.
Well, I know that
So-
whoever it is, they're gonna kill with a kiss.
Absolutely. But you have a sumo wrestler.
Yes.
I have a lucha libre wrestler
Oh, wow. All right.
who can kill with
A
a kiss.
matchup for the ages.
And relies on heat vision to see.
Well,
I've already got my argument.
my sumo wrestler has recently acquired a new ability. That is that he throws fireballs.
Oh,
Oh.
shit.
Huh. Interesting.
It's
Relies
interesting.
on heat vision to see, throws fireballs.
I will allow you, Nick, to go first.
All right, I'm ready.
Go.
All right, so my super endurance sumo wrestler, efficient in not only sumo wrestling but log rolling and thumb wrestling as well, even against 100 stories and 9 feet tall demon possessed cars that controls magnetism. I have a lot of things going on with me, and now adding in fireballs into the mix, I'm almost unstoppable. Against an opponent that can see with heat vision, I can use those fireballs to distract and show, and so like there's heat going this way, this way, and then here I am the other way. It's that easy.
All right.
Conceding those last 5 seconds.
All right. So, my rebuttal to that. So, a sumo wrestler isn't all that deadly on his own. Throwing fireballs, yeah, that can be deadly. But I have the heat vision. I can see those coming. I can see them before you've even fully formed them. So I know when the fireball's coming. Not to mention, I don't know if you've ever seen a fat person. They get very hot. They get very warm. They sweat a lot. They get very warm. So I can see you very easily, even with your distracting fireballs. Not to mention, I mean, sumo wrestling, lucha libre wrestling, those are both very close quarters things. So I can just lean in as I'm wrestling and just... dead.
Oh, wow. Oh, man.
Done.
All right. Questions?
I guess I'll go first. I think the real, an assassin, they have to have a tool that can kill fast, quick, and easy. And I think the lucha libre wrestler has that. Like the kill with a kiss, that's unbeatable, pretty much. You just need to close the distance. So my question is, for Mike, how would a lucha libre wrestler be so, like, what exactly would enable him or her to deftly get to the sumo wrestler in close quarters, if we're under the assumption that you both start on opposite sides of the ring and the sumo wrestler has time to launch all of their attacks, which they have many of.
Well, again, number one, fireballs, I can see those because they heat vision. But that's not to mention this card right here. Screams the names of the attacks before using them. So I'm able to anticipate, not only can I see the fireballs as they're forming because I can see the heat start to form, but he's also announcing it to me. So it's really not going to be hard to close the distance. Not to mention, sumo wrestlers, their forte is, being right up close and personal with someone. The fireballs is just a little distraction, as Nick already said. He's going to use them as a distraction. But it doesn't bother me because I'm not distracted. I can hear him tell me exactly what he's doing. It's not a very good distraction. He goes, distracting fireball! Craig, do you have a question for either of us?
Oh, my goodness.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
I mean, you're a little misguided.
I have a
Right.
question for Nick if you're...
Well, I have a question for Nick.
Okay.
All right.
How are you going to... how could you use any of these powers to stop a kiss?
To stop it.
So-
Stop a kiss.
Let me bring up something
let's
actually that's
see.
kind of interesting
Let's
that I
see.
think some of us are forgetting. This isn't who will win.
I know. I was just thinking the
Assassin
same
versus
exact
assassin. This is which of us is the deadliest assassin. I feel like this would actually be a match of us each given a target. Who would?
thing. I agree.
Get
I
that.
pitted you two against
Alright.
each other because I was just in the wrestling mindset.
Which is fair. That's
I can-
where
I can
I
make a
even.
point to
That's,
that as well.
That was even my initial understanding of it.
Let's see.
However, to go to the challenge itself, I think that the spirit of the challenge is rather we are each given a separate third-party target.
All right, I like that.
With that being said, that opens my magnetism up for more wide use.
Okay.
I can use that to crush people from a distance. So even if I have to shout the name of my attack, they might not hear it in time. I have my fireballs. I have my super endurance, my sumo wrestling. Sumo wrestling is very close quarters as well as lucha libre fighting, wrestling. And so I have distance and close quarters combat.
Alright. I have a question for you, Nick Snow. To follow up on that. Thinking in that mindset. Deadliest assassin, to me, an assassin is all about being subtle. I think you can see where I'm going. What about a screaming super sumo wrestler is subtle, and how would you navigate? How would you navigate going about killing someone discreetly, like a president of the United States, or like someone in the middle of the night in the dark?
So oftentimes when someone, especially using your example of the President of the United States, when the President makes a trip to Japan, it is very common for them to go and experience cultural attractions. In Spain, they may go and see a bullfight. In Japan, it's not uncommon to go and see a sumo wrestling match, which gives me the way to be there inconspicuously, despite being a sumo wrestler. Again, my magnetism and fireballs give me distance, and especially magnetism allows for even for that subtlety that you spoke of.
Okay.
Craig, you got a question for me?
I have a question about how are you going to keep, I think, assassination, and I've come up with this, and maybe you want to touch on it quickly in your final argument, but assassination, a successful assassination is one that you can get away with. How are you going to get away with assassinating someone?
Well, this says kill with a kiss.
Yeah.
Doesn't say kills instantly with a kiss. It could be a delayed reaction.
So any of
So
us
say-
can kill with a kiss.
No. So say I have, the President of the United States come down to Mexico, partake in the culture, watch a lucha libre match. Now, I don't know if you've seen a lucha libre match, but who could watch that and not want to kiss the winner of that match? It's pure animal attraction. So the president, prime minister, whoever were assassinated, sees that and is so enamored with this lucha libre fighter that they have to go shake hands, maybe get a little kiss, and then they go home. They're on Air Force One. About a half hour later, as the plane's taking off, all of a sudden they realize, I can't breathe. I don't know what's happening. The last thought before they die, they can't breathe, so they can't get it up. Their last thought is, it was that damn lucha libre fighter. I know it. I think it's pretty obvious. It's self-explanatory. I don't know why that was even a question.
It's first rate SpongeBob. I wumbo, you wumbo.
All right. Closing arguments.
Closing arguments.
Nick,
20
seconds.
Okay.
Go.
So my opponent and I think, are very well matched in this. I do want to say that. However, I feel like my wrestler is much more versatile in both close hand-to-hand abilities and distance farther abilities with my magnetism and fireballs.
All right.
20 seconds is short.
All right, it's real quick. So my counter argument to that is that, I mean, fireballs are fairly obvious. When someone throws a fireball, you know. When someone's controlling magnetism, you can figure it out pretty quickly. I don't know if you've seen X-Men. Magneto, he's not very subtle.
He can be.
It's not a very subtle thing. Whereas killing with a kiss, as I demonstrated, can be very subtle, but a half an hour later.
As I demonstrated.
Have at it.
Alright. Alright.
Good job.
So-
Good job. I feel like that was even closer than
To summarize,
That was really
we have Mike with the Lucha Libre wrestler who can kill with a kiss and relies on heat vision to see. Which, well, I'll hold that thought until afterwards. But then that is fighting to be the deadliest assassin. And on the other side, we have Nick with the sumo wrestler who can throw fireballs, has super endurance, controls magnetism, and screams the names of their attacks before they make them. So, I personally think... Well, Craig, do you have anything else you want to say before we dive in?
Oh man,
Anything else you think is important to mention before we debate here? And if you have any thoughts, let us know.
yeah, definitely. Audience, feel free to speak in quickly. I know Jim's already agreed with some of the points that have been made. I gotta say, I'm leaning towards the Lucha Libre wrestler because I think subtlety and the ability to get away with that is going to play a lot into being the deadliest assassin. And everyone knows assassins. The best way to get away with your assassin is to not be. With your assassination attempt is to not be spotted, and the screaming really does hinder that.
That's true.
So, what were you thinking?
This is tough. I actually think this is a very well matched up group because I think on the one hand, being able to see with heat vision and being able to kill with a kiss are two excellent skills for the deadliest assassin. But I actually don't know how well a Lucha Libre wrestler would be able to, one, sneak up on an enemy, and two, leave the premises fast enough not to be caught. I think heat vision could help with that, sort of seeing where they are, knowing when to jump out and kiss them. And another plus for the Lucha Libre is that it's a determined kill every time. Without doubt, you will have killed them with a simple kiss. But I think on the opposite side of that, you have to be in close quarters. So it's what is your method of escape? And I think the sumo wrestler, with the controlling magnetism, I think that's an excellent skill for a deadliest assassin because they can use that from a distance and kill their target.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I think the yelling thing is going to be their biggest hindrance. But
Yeah, I see Jim agrees that the screaming is the biggest hindrance, but he says that the clear answer is the sumo wrestler.
yeah, I think the sumo wrestler has way more options at their fingertips. They can throw fireballs. They're going to be great up close if they have to dispatch their opponent. And they have the magnetism, which allows them to fight from far away. And maybe the sumo wrestler could use those skills to create a distraction or something that sort of pulls from their yelling, or uses the magnetism to strike out their eardrums or something. I don't know. But
It's true.
I think it's a tough matchup.
It's tough. I think it's one of the closest we've had so far. I do think the options are deciding this for me. I'm actually going back to the sumo wrestler.
Going sumo wrestler?
Going sumo wrestler.
I think I'm gonna go sumo wrestler too.
Okay.
And I think pitted against. So let's say they're the two best assassins, and we have to figure out how to decide that, and we pitted them against each other. I think sumo wrestler would have it without a doubt.
Okay. Yeah. I think that is a good.
Because I feel like the fireballs would be more distracting than anything for the Lucha Libre. Because we don't know how big the fireballs can be. If they're huge, you won't be able to see anything clearly. So, sumo wrestler it is.
Sumo wrestler it is.
All right.
All right, audience. Let's get
Come
that-
back in, boys.
Let's get him in here.
Nick So. They just get so chatty up there. Craig's going to get them. They get so chatty.
Jake just staring at the camera longingly.
I was keeping our audience busy with my good looks. All right. The deliberation
Were
is
they
led
Lucha
to...
Libre good looks?
They were. Looks that could kill.
With a kiss?
So, my thoughts. I think for the Deadliest Assassin, 2 very important tools. Killing with a kiss and relying on heat vision. Very helpful in finding out where your opponents are, jumping out at them. But I think ultimately we have to give it to the sumo
You
wrestler.
son of a bitch.
Who is just too versatile.
Also,
Has too big a set of tools to be denied the top spot.
Mike was out. I wasn't able to get this across before. One of Jim's points that he had mentioned was fat people are hot physically and attractively.
True. 100%.
I mean, there's a lot of fat Lucha Libre fighters who are very physically fat.
This is
and Jim also loves your eyes, Jake.
Oh, thank you.
this the audience may not. This played no part into who I decided, but I couldn't help but think of the sumo wrestler and the Lucha Libre wrestler in terms of Jackie Chan adventures. As Toru and I believe his name is El Toro Fuerte. I couldn't help but think of these two going up against each other. A little nostalgia for our viewers.
You gotta get that bull talisman.
Yeah, that's
Oh
just
my
hysterical.
God, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a great show.
All right.
Well, I win.
You son of a
It's
bitch.
good. I couldn't possibly
That was
catch up
close,
to
though.
that. I couldn't catch up with that because there's only one last.
Yeah, I
person,
mean, that
so-
was the decider.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was worth it though.
That was a good
Very good.
final match.
That was. That took a lot out of me. I feel like that was. Like.
Yeah,
That's a rough game almost.
that took a lot of deliberation.
Yeah. All right.
Good shit.
We did it.
We did it. We did it. We did it.
Hooray!
All right, another game
I
down.
don't know which. I think I might put mine in backwards or not. I don't know. Whatever. Don't matter.
Figure it out.
It don't matter.
Don't mean a thing.
Jim
Oh,
says
hold on.
loves your eyes.
I
Yes,
mean,
that was.
how can you not?
You've done a service for looking into our camera.
Good. Glad to
Nice
hear.
and pizza-y.
Nothing wrong with getting pizza on your board games.
So I think that was the third game.
That was
What other
more than
games did you
three.
play? You played the Mario game? You played
Mario,
this?
Superfight, Forbidden Island, Coup.
Cool.
That was our fourth game.
Yep,
okay,
fourth
moving on to our fifth game.
All right, what do we got up on the
So we've got.
Bermuda
Triangle.
Oh,
Do you want to break out Bermuda? Oh,
Staying
oh,
Alive?
Do you want to try Staying Alive? How many players
Staying
is Staying
Alive.
Alive?
Oh, it might just be 4. Oh, well, we have 4. Oh, we're going to on the stream with us too.
That's
almost
that's
better.
something. Yeah, it really is pretty much better.
What is Staying Alive?
This is
Jim suggests Guess Who, and that's a 2-player game, unfortunately. We should
actually do
we
Guess
could
Who.
do we
can
could
do
do Guess
that.
Who with lots of
Do
commentation.
we want to
Like
do
lots of
Guess Who
commentary.
right now? Or do you want to do Staying Alive
Let's do
first?
like one game of this because I have a feeling it's gonna be fucking loud as shit. Because it has
And then we'll
marbles in it.
We'll do Guess Who after this.
That
Alright.
sounds great.
Bear with us.
Okay, we can have lots of guest
the
commentary on
sound
matches.
goes crazy. Yeah, read the rules to us, guys.
I have no idea what
I
I'm
like
looking
this.
at.
For 2 to 4 players, stay alive. It's
So-
the ultimate survival game. Players take turns in moving slides on any side of the board. Each of the 14 slides, 7 red and 7 white, has 3 positions with knobs at each end. Various combinations of the slide positions create
That's
holes
like
in the center
do it
grid,
like this.
causing marbles to drop through. Each player has his own colored marbles and attempts to keep at least one of them on the grid longer than his opponent in order to stay alive.
Oh, there's no thing here. This thing's broken off.
So
Good one.
I mean, you can reach across and do it from here.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
supposed to have the same colors marbles.
Each player takes 5
Yeah,
marbles.
I want to be green.
Seems like we already have.
Craig, you want to be yellow? You have
Sure.
yellow ones already?
There are.
So
So we
wait,
need
5
5?
Per, 5 per team? Or is there no
5
teams?
per player.
5 per player.
Yeah, my 5 greens.
I got yellows.
I'll go with black.
Are there gray ones?
They're like these purplish ones.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh, good.
Is there one more?
There's a white one you can use.
What about clear? You want to do clear?
Yeah, I'll use a clear one. So I have purple and clear.
And Craig, you can do a backup of like a.
So how
you
how is
have
this?
5.
How is
Five.
setup supposed to be?
Just
with
put the
this?
extras over here, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Does it say anything about setup, Craig?
So you're just getting to the setup.
Okay, that's fair.
Each player, the 4 pads are furnished to protect the furniture. That's kind of them to think of. Each player takes 5
Yeah,
marbles
there's
of his
like
color
that
and
one.
places them in the storage well to his right. 3 walls are circular, 1 is square. With 3 players, 15 marbles are used, and 2
Okay.
players, 10 are used. The remaining marbles are out of the game. Each of the 14 slides may be moved into any one of 3 positions by moving the knob at either end. Place each of the 14 slides into one of 3 positions, but arrange the slides in random positions at the beginning, so each game will play differently.
So make sure they're all covered.
Yeah.
Oh, so all the things have to be covered to start with?
No, I think it's just you put them in random positions.
Random
Yeah.
positions.
Oh, so you don't think covered?
No, it doesn't matter.
And then you just throw these on there randomly?
Players place all the marbles on the grid one at a time, in turn, with one player going first and the others continuing clockwise.
I'll go first.
Alright.
I feel like we should. I don't know how we could do this. I feel like for the next Game-A-Thon, for the stream, the charity stream, I feel like maybe we should have, if possible, a higher and closer
Yeah, I'm thinking
camera. If
I'm
we can
thinking-
get like a tripod or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking we should have
So
a
that-
tripod next time.
To
so
be
we
able
know
to see the
overhead view.
board essentially, or the
Yeah.
tabletop.
Next
So
time
it's-
we should have
Nick,
that.
what are you thinking?
Gotta bear with us for now, folks.
Alright, your turn, Jake.
This is gonna be chaotic.
This is interesting.
Be gentle with this thing. It's gonna get
Be
chaotic.
gentle.
It's gonna get chaotic fast. Or do you do like one by one?
I think
It's
you
one
go
by
one.
one.
Oh, okay. So I guess it won't get chaotic. I was imagining us all going like this at the same time.
Craig.
Jake?
I was gonna go there. You
I
son
was
of a
gonna do
bitch.
that too. That looked like a solid spot.
Alright.
So what's the next? The rules here, Craig? Is this for this?
Craig
Right
Reno.
here.
No, this is for Superfight. Superfight. No, it's over there. Whatever.
The
We'll
first
put it
player
right
must
soon.
move one of the slides of his choice, either red or white, one position in an attempt to eliminate an opponent's marble by causing it to fall through the grid into the base below. It is possible for several marbles to fall with one move of the knob. In one turn, a player may not move the knob from the inside position to the outside, nor may he move from the outside position to the inside. He must stop at the center space. Each player in turn may not move the slide moved by the player immediately before his turn, so you can't move it back if the person before you moved it. When a player has had his 5 marbles dropped through the grid, he is out of the game and can no longer move slides. When a 3 or 4 player gets down to 2 players, a player may move the same knob on 2 consecutive turns only.
So you can't move the same one back and forth.
Yeah. The last player with 1 or more marbles on the grid is the winner of the game. The last 2 drop at once. The player who moved the slide
Time to drop
wins.
some balls. So I have a quick question. So if Craig moved this one, moved one to the center. If he moved this one to the center, could I push that same one forward again?
I think the
I
rule
can't-
says you can't move that.
That one
piece
at
out.
all. So I knew I couldn't move it back to where it was.
I think the rule says you can't move it at all.
Okay, no, I just want to confirm.
I
Cannot move the
same-
slide moved by the player immediately before your turn.
so you can't move it at all.
That's all I needed to answer.
All right.
I think I understand. It's basically just move. You can move one click.
Yep. All right, Jake. Let's see it.
Yeah.
All right, let's start here.
Oh, we had our first casualty.
First casualty.
Oh, a double.
Double casualty. Goodness. This is great already.
I hate it. No, I love it.
Are you out already, Nixon?
No,
No.
What?
I
you're
lost 2.
Oh, I thought you were clear. I was like, there's no clear on there.
It's clear to me.
That was real bad.
Let's see what I got here.
Damn it.
Poor Nixon.
Oh, that was rough. Don't do it. No.
This is interesting. I'm probably very boring to you.
No!
Yes!
Oh, that hurt. I knew it was a bad idea to put 2 on the same one.
God damn it! We lose this one.
Jake.
No.
Yes.
I'm out. This is interesting.
This is actually kind of fun.
Let me.
Oh yeah, you want to?
I'm going. Yeah, I'll be
Position
cameraman for
that
this
for us?
because this is necessary.
Jake.
I'll wait for Nixon. Yeah, you can unplug it if you need to.
Yeah, I will.
Plenty for this part. Okay. Oh shit.
Wait, no,
So-
that's the one I just moved.
So
Oh,
announce
okay.
what
Yeah.
your colors are. Who's
So I am green.
I'm yellow.
I'm black.
so even fields for the moment.
Oh, so
All right, so Jake, you got to move a different one because that was the one I moved.
I can't
Or no,
see.
no, Craig already took a turn, so you can move that. Never mind. So it is
Oh.
my turn.
alright, so it's now.
You risky son of a bitch.
Well, I'm risky at all. Jake.
This is freaking me out. How do I?
I'm gonna hold on. How do I swap to the face? There we go.
Alright, let's see it.
That was my own. Why did I do that?
Yeah, I don't know why you did that.
I just killed myself.
It's down
All
to
right,
2.
now
Thanks,
we've got to
Jake.
do 2.
No, we go back and forth, but we can't move the same. We can move the same thing we moved the turn before. We just can't move it twice in a row. Or 3 times in a row. We can move it twice.
That was a risky move there.
Tit for tat, Craig. This might be a stalemate.
Which one's... I was going to say, Craig, you should have done this one.
Yeah, you had to protect yourself.
Yeah, because that would have dropped Mike, and that would have protected you. That was actually more fun than I was expecting it to be. Not gonna lie.
Hey, good
Stay
job.
alive.
All right. Interesting.
Well, we all know who the
Should we
champion
play one
is.
more time?
This was relatively quickly, so we'll do this, and then we'll play Guess Who.
Yeah.
Guess who?
Yes,
I
You'll-
love that.
Alright,
there is a request. We will honor said request.
will
Yeah,
honor some
obviously.
requests.
Yeah.
Do we want to just keep the board as it is, since it's kind of random at this point?
A
Okay,
couple of them.
perfect. That's even better. I'll have this like this the entire time.
Blanks.
Is there one left?
I think he had.
I had the clear.
Oh, maybe just use that one.
I think he used one of the clear.
I did.
Alright.
So just get everything in a.
Winner goes
All
first.
Just making sure that things are.
Bit.
Ooh, it was a packed
That's
row.
ballsy.
No.
He didn't
No.
like-
Shoot.
Oh, he loses.
No. No. I'll take another clear. Whatever.
Everything's clear. That was
So,
great.
put that where you want it, Nick.
I already put one.
I use a red.
You can tell we're not using marbles.
Yeah, no, not at all.
All right. Doesn't seem like there are very many safe ones in this
No,
setup.
there's not.
That's what makes it fun.
That wasn't a criticism, just to clarify. Cool.
Alright. So,
Ready? So before we go, one more time around for colors.
I am green.
I am black.
I am the purple and clear ones.
And I am yellow.
Alright, let's see it.
So who goes first? Person after that? Winner goes first.
Craig's got one down already. Too busy asking questions.
That was weird. That was a bad calculation.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Craig, that was a bad decision on your part.
That's a bad decision. All right, well.
I'll do.
Craig. I did the same thing last time, so that's okay.
I'm trying. There aren't too many.
Oh.
Oh. Ugh.
You son of a bitch. No.
Oh.
Craig. This is a very quiet and contemplative game. I was not expecting it to be.
2 for 1.
Ugh, I don't like that.
Craig.
You dirty son of a bitch.
Oh, that's...
No.
You can't do the same one that was
it's
just
across?
moved
Okay, I see.
because it's the same.
Let's see. I see.
As much as I would love you to do that move, you can't.
I see. We're going across. All right.
Nice. Nick. Oh, that was the wrong fucking way. You fucking idiot. That's the worst.
Craig?
Shit. I think Nick still might have this one in the bag.
Yeah, he's got the edge. You're done, Craig.
Did you just
lost.
move this one?
No, I moved yours.
Yeah, you are.
So you
You're
can't
done.
save yourself.
And I have a thing
I just
underneath
never
me,
thought
I
you could
think.
save yourself.
He can't. He's
Wait,
done.
Nick still move this one?
No, Nick's gonna move this one.
Oh yeah, you're done for.
Craig lost. There's way more thought that goes into this game than I thought.
Yeah, I had no idea. This is great. I love Stay Alive.
Stay alive.
Oh. All I know is I was the world's first Stay Alive
We'll
champion.
try. All right.
Sayonara, Craig.
Ah!
All right. Good fun, good fun.
Match, good match.
I'm glad that we experienced Stay Alive.
Great game.
Oh man, wait a minute. Jim says
It was a joking
it was
request.
a joking.
But do we still want to do it?
It was a joke.
I mean, we could make it work,
We could.
but do we want to?
Do you have a box over there for us?
I do.
Let's see, what other options do we have?
We have many options.
We have dual masters.
That was another one that we specifically waited for Mike.
That was the
We've
top.
got, let's see,
I'm going.
Operation.
Jake, maybe. Can we get some other glasses?
Sure.
I'm going.
What do we have there?
This, my friend, is the full bore smash Pale Ale. It's got a bit of a fruity taste to it. It's not hoppy like an IPA.
Yeah.
It's not too bitter. I like it quite a bit.
Full Bore is the one right behind Applebee's in North Syracuse, right?
it is.
I wasn't a big fan when I went there.
No?
Of some of their beers.
I really am a big fan of theirs.
But yeah, if you want, try a sip of this. This
I
is
will.
the Doppelganger.
I'm not a huge IPA fan.
I mean, that one's. These are both very IPA.
Yeah, it's a bit too bitter for me.
Yeah, I mean, this is their like stereotypical New England IPA.
Though I like the flavor of the hops on the front end.
Yeah, no, I mean, this one's just cool because the can.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
Like, that's an awesome can. Awesome game.
Well, Jim's already calling me out on my IPA knowledge of Treehouse IPAs not being bitter.
They're really not.
Okay.
Treehouse makes some really smooth, easy drinking IPAs.
There's a dryness to it. There's something to it that I'm just like, it wasn't for me.
Yeah. No,
Point is,
Doppelganger's,
I'm not a...
Doppelganger's not bad. I like the Bright better.
Yeah.
I really like the green one, but they didn't have green last time I was there. Yeah, I went to Full Bore a few months ago. They were doing donuts and beer.
I love that.
Oh, were you there that day?
I was. Or maybe the last
They
week.
they had a couple different times that day too.
Yeah.
So we could have been.
Wow.
Look at the head on that.
Ugh, that actually looks great.
Oh man, I'm gonna be double fisting beers. So classy.
I need to get a better way of holding this. Both ways were bad.
You want me to pour?
No.
This jug, you gotta keep this and play as an instrument.
It's a growler.
I probably should have waited so we could cheers.
That would have been the classy thing to do.
I'm not classy.
None of us are classy.
You're over here double fisting beers.
Hell yeah.
That's the definition of classy.
Is this the last one?
It is.
Perfect. Craig, do you want a glass of this?
Oh, just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Baby glass.
Ironically, Craig got the biggest
I
glass.
know. That's perfect. Cool.
Just a sippy. Look at how different it looks in that glass compared to these ones.
Jim approves. He says that's his go-to brewery.
Yeah, it is. The full one is. He is currently enjoying a Middle Ages single batch IPA.
Oh, I like Middle Ages make some good beers.
That is true. Yes.
What?
Shall we, boys?
No.
Oh, my chair just felt like it was gonna give out.
Games.
To Game-A-Thon.
To Game-A-Thon.
Game-A-Thon, long may it rain.
Long may it rain. That's good.
I like it.
It's not bad.
Very much enjoyed.
I mean, it's been sitting out also for a little bit, so it's not as cold as when I sampled it.
Tastes good to me.
Yeah, it sounds good.
All right, so what do you want to do? Maybe some dominoes. Some guess who? Is that what we're gonna do?
Do we want to do?
Do we want to do guess
It's
who?
up
Or
to
is-
you.
Do you want to do guess who teams?
We could do that.
Let's see what I gotta
We'll
look
do
what we
that.
have over here
It's fun.
as well.
I like playing the. There's something that we had said in one of our blogs. Well, you had the blog of is it bad to still like Monopoly?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
something to be said about some of the more simple older games.
That's true.
And so I'm definitely all for it. We can do one thing of Guess Who.
One thing of guess who?
I would say after Guess Who, either America, the board game,
I saw that over there. I don't know what that
Or-
is.
Betrayal, Last Friday, or The Thing. So 4 options after
I
Guess
mean,
Who.
the thing is phenomenal. Betrayal's phenomenal.
But I feel like we should do.
Try something.
I mean,
We shouldn't do all 3 of them in one night. And if we do 2 of them, they need to be broken up.
Yes.
Something else in between. Because they're all 3 of them are relatively similar. At least
But-
in feeling.
I know in past game nights I've loved The Thing and Betrayal. Those have been 2 of my favorites. So we need to play at least one of them.
Oh yeah, full show.
Which one we decide on
Stuck.